Hey, it's Clay at CPAP My Way, CPAPMyWay.com. Today we're here to talk to you a little bit about CPAP repairs. So we get the question all the time, and we want to break it down for you, give you some advice on troubleshooting as well as how to get it all done. So the main points today are going to be: is the CPAP even broken? So we'll give you some common troubleshooting techniques to see if you can resolve it before you have to go through a repair process. Then we're also going to discuss average repair costs. So by part and piece, whatever's broken, what it's going to cost you on average, that is. Additionally, we're going to tell you how long repairs take on average. So how long you're going to have to be without your CPAP. And then finally, is it going to really be worth repairing an old CPAP? So we go over some pricing with you as far as new versus repairs, and then just kind of some general advice, honestly. And then the very last thing we'll discuss is how you can actually get your own CPAP repair estimate for free. So stay tuned. And as always, if you like the content, hit us with a thumbs up, please. If you want more content, subscribe. And then additionally, if you have any questions, concerns, or things that we may not have touched over or glossed over, you want some more info, just throw it in the comments below. We do our best to answer as much as possible there and to address anything that we can. All right, so step one is that you're probably going to want to troubleshoot some common issues first. Typically, we're going to hear from somebody that they hear a blank noise, a gurgling noise, a popping noise, a hissing noise. So we'll go over a couple of those real quick. Number one we hear is a popping noise or a crackling noise. That's typically because you've got condensation in the tube. And so best thing to do is take your tube off, hang it over a doorway or somewhere where it can drape and drip dry. And then just make sure you don't have any water droplets throughout the tube. That'll usually get rid of it. And then of course adjust your humidity to account for the issue in future. Turn it down a little bit. And then hook it back up, and usually it will resolve that issue. The other thing that we hear is that our customers are hearing a whining noise or a whistling noise or hissing noise. Typically that's from a leak. And the leak can be anywhere through the entire system. So we recommend starting at the beginning and working your way back. So start right with the seal. Make sure there's no tears or issues with the seal. If it's been a while, replace your seal. Next, make sure that your seal is attached correctly to the mask, that you don't have any issues with the connection point there, that your quick connect and CPAP tube are all nice and tight and connected on correctly. Some of those can get crooked on different models. Trace it back, make sure in all the little joints you don't have any breaks. It's very common on these right up against the rubber cuff to have some cracks or tears in that tube. And then just make sure you got everything on there correctly, right? Make sure that your humidifier seals, no matter which model it is, aren't pulled loose. Like this one comes out completely. You'd want to make sure that is in there correctly before shutting it back, right? And then finally, if you have a humidifier that disconnects like this Dream Station, you'll want to make sure that you take it apart, slip it back together, make sure it's fit nice and tight and snug there. Because at any of those points, you can have some air leaking, and it will cause some noises that sound like the machine itself is actually broken. The final thing we hear is that there is like a groaning noise, or they don't feel like there's enough pressure coming out anymore and nothing's changed on the settings. That is almost always a filter issue. So if you'll, for instance, on this Dream Station, there's a little filter housing right here. It has a disposable and a reusable. Your disposable filter's got to be thrown away at least once a month. And then that washable filter needs to be rinsed out once a week. If you're not doing that, start doing it. And it's something to check immediately. If you see discoloration, change it out, try your machine again. Chances are it's going to resolve that issue you're describing, as long as it hasn't permanently damaged the motor going forward. So hopefully a couple of those things will work it out and you don't have to worry about any troubleshooting further, and your CPAP will run on for years to come. If that's not the case and you've got an error message or or contact your provider message or alarms, probably going to need to get the repair estimate. And so to expand on that a little bit, we'll go over the average costs. You're looking at 3 different levels for repair costs on a CPAP machine. They can vary, so don't hold me to this, but in our experience, it's come out to basically one of 3 things. Cosmetic issues like cracks or seals or things like that that need to be replaced are typically going to range in about the $130 range. And that usually is going to be like bad seals internally or a cracked housing somewhere, something cosmetic that's relatively simple to repair. The other repair costs are completely dependent on if you've got one or two of the major components broken. There's two major components: the blower motor, which is basically the motor of the machine creating the pressure, or the board, which is the computer of the machine that runs it. Those two things are fairly expensive. If you've got one of those things broken, you're looking at about $260 to $270 to repair. If both of those things are broken, you're looking at about $390 to get it repaired. Now those are estimates, obviously, so give or take on some of it, and it depends on the make and model as well, but on average that's what we're seeing. Additionally, you're going to want to know how long it takes to repair your CPAP. So on average, once you've approved your repair estimate, that means you have to respond. You're looking at about a 5-day turnaround, so a week before the machine parts can be assembled, put back together, and all that good stuff. That doesn't count shipping time, so keep that in mind. It's going to take time for you to ship your machine to the repair facility, and then vice versa. The repair facility's got to ship it back to you. So overall, on average, we're seeing about a 2-week turnaround. It depends mostly on where you're located in reference to the repair facility itself. So it's really not that long, but you will want to plan, this is how long I'm going to be without my CPAP. It can be longer, and in times it's actually shorter. If there's back order issues, it can be significantly longer. But typically you're notified about that, so you'll at least have some heads up. The last thing you're really going to want to consider is it even worth repairing? So, you know the average repair costs. To be honest, a lot of times if your machine's 5, 6, 7 years old, you're really going to want to consider a new machine. For instance, we have all-inclusive starter bundles for a brand new CPAP at just $4.99. So for less than $500, you can get started on a brand new machine with full warranty. You may not want to pay $400 to repair that 7-year-old dinosaur that you've had cranking around. It's lived its life. It's probably time to set it out to pasture. So keep that in mind. We prescription service along with your CPAP that we can include with a price deduction to help you out. So that you don't even have to go back and see a doctor or anything like that. We can just get you started on a new CPAP right away. So keep that in mind. And the final thing you want to know is how to get that repair estimate. So in the description below, there is a link to our blog on this particular subject. Midway through that blog, you're going to see 3 different methods for contacting our repair partner. Number 1 is going to be phone. You can reach out to them via phone and coordinate this. Number 2 is you can shoot them an email with your information. They'll ask for whatever you need. Or number 3, we've got an embedded link in there, so it'll take you to a quick form. You fill out the information. I think you can even print your UPS label right from there. Worst case scenario, they email it to you. So you get a free label to send it back to the facility for that estimate. You don't have to do anything. If you don't want to repair it and you want it shipped back to you, I believe they charge you for shipping back. But it's up to you. You don't have to proceed at all. It's completely free to get the estimate. So honestly, it's probably worth getting the estimate, even if you're going to get a new machine, because if it's a simple fix, hey, you got a backup machine. So keep that in mind as well. So we hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was useful. Again, if you liked it, show us some love with a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, subscribe. And as always, if you've got questions, throw them in the comments below. We do our very best to answer anything and everything that we can. So thanks again for watching.